This is my latest project, an Imperial German Mauser Model 1871 carbine, or Car 71 for short. It is mostly functional, although I haven't checked the chamber and bore condition yet. It does have a variety of cosmetic issues though. The fore-end of the stock is missing. It was cut down at the middle band. Of course, it's missing the nose cap at the very front. And it should have a lug on the underside of the barrel that the nose cap attaches to. The rear sight is complete, except for the flat spring that biases it open or closed. The butt plate is rough, very rough, maybe the worst I've ever seen. And this bottom screw is missing. A Phillips head has no place on a rifle like this. Last, the overall finish of the carbine is dark, with it being slightly lighter at the wood line. I'm not sure what I'll find when I remove the stock. With all that being said, this carbine does have a lot going for it. First off, a Car 71 is pretty rare. The markings are crisp. This was both made and first issued in 1876. These stock cartouches are easily readable. The markings continue on the other side. The FW is the acceptance marking of Friedrich Wilhelm, although this was actually made in Austria-Hungary by OEWG Steyr. The numbers are all matching, including the bolt, and on the front band. The front band is unique to the carbine, with the large sling loop. Replacement parts for the Car 71 just don't exist, with one exception. I was able to find this nose cap. It's a reproduction, a casting done with lost wax. It's as cast, which means it needs to be finished. It doesn't fit over the muzzle as is. I'll have to make it fit, as well as remove the mold lines and sand the outside. But it's a much better option than making one from scratch, without having anything else to work off of. Of course, to fit the nose cap, the stock will need to be extended. For that, I have this piece of wood. I'll cut back the front of the stock so that the joint will be between the old wood and the new wood, and will be hidden underneath the middle band. If I do it right, it shouldn't be visible. I'll start by separating the action from the stock. On the underside of the action, you can see how this should look. These carbines were left bright. Maybe I'll do something with the finish later on, but in this video, I want to restore it to its original configuration. I'll start by fitting the nose cap to the barrel. The hole in it isn't allowing the barrel to pass through. You can see that it's out of round. I'll mark the spots where it's interfering. Then I'll file these away. Of course, the best way to make a hole round is to use a drill, or better yet, the boring head in the mill. The problem with that is that with any rough casting, holding it securely will be a challenge. If this were to slip, I need to start over with a new part. Filing is slower, but safer. The hole is much closer, but now the nose cap is at a downward angle in relation to the barrel, and it seems like it's tight around the front sight post. I'll have to file it a bit here, then file these curved surfaces inside to fix the angle. The nose cap seems to be fitting around the front sight post much better than before, but it's still sitting at an angle. Filing is slow going. I'll try using a Dremel with a sanding drum. The drum is only a bit smaller than the hole. One final test fit. It's still a bit tight, which is good. Just need to angle it down. And that looks good. Next I'll clean up the casting, remove the mold lines, and especially this stub on the bottom. More filing and sanding will come later, but this casting is cleaning up nicely. I'll next start on the fore-end, which will overlap the stock a few inches. I already have it marked out in order to route the barrel channel. The barrel channel is roughed in. The barrel doesn't fit within it very well just yet. I'll have to use gouges to get it to sit properly. But first I'll remove this extra material at the front. I'm using soot from a candle to see where the barrel is touching. There's some transfer at the front, then quite a bit at the rear. I could keep going until I see black all over, but this is good enough for a fore-end. In order to attach this to the original stock, I'm going to turn the end of this into a tenon. I'll cut away everything outside of this area and back around 2 inches to here. Using the barrel to keep everything aligned, I'll trace the outside of the tenon on the fore-end. I'll use these lines to cut the matching mortise into the original stock. I had cut back the original stock slightly so that the joint between the new fore-end and the original stock is hidden under the middle band. The mortise and tenon joint that will hold them together is nice and tight. I'll add the action to ensure that everything is in alignment. Before I glue the joint together, I'll mark out the extra wood that I'll first remove with the bandsaw. This will make shaping later on easier. Then I'll glue. I left it overnight and the glue is now dry. I like to bring either end of the wood to dimension before shaping the middle. The rear is already defined. I'll just match the new section to the old stock where the band fit. The size at the front will be determined by the nose cap. I'll fit that first before shaping everything else in between, starting by cutting the stock to length. The nose cap is going to be hard to fit on the end of the stock here. The sides of it are curved, and looking at it from the top, it tapers from larger at the back to smaller at the front. I'll work it backwards a little at a time, removing small amounts of material and test fitting often. Now that the nose cap is fit, I can finally shape the fore-end. I'm setting up this board to support the end of the barrel so that it doesn't flex much. The fore-end will be straight, tapering down slightly from the middle band to the nose cap. I'll do the majority of the shaping with this poke shave, then finish with sandpaper. While the band is now fitting, there's nothing to hold it on. The stock should have a band spring on this side. A Car 71 specific part is impossible to find, so instead I got a standard Mauser spring, which will be a decent enough stand-in. I'll drill the hole for it to slide into the stock, then inlet it into the wood. With the middle band now being held on by the spring, I need a way to hold on the nose cap. As mentioned earlier, there should be a lug on the underside of the barrel that a screw threads into, but it's missing. Instead of adding a new lug, the easiest way to attach the nose cap is through a screw into the wood. When it comes to finishing the fore-end, I have two options. I can try and match the finish on the rest of the stock, or I can just finish the wood and have it not match. I'm going to go with the latter for two reasons. First, it's very hard to exactly match the color. You just don't know how the wood is going to react with first a stain or a dye, then with oil. Second, even if I were to match the color perfectly, the texture of the wood itself just wouldn't match. This stock has seen nearly 150 years of handling and use, and that just can't be replicated. What I'll do is stain this slightly darker, then finish with boiled linseed oil. The difference between the fore-end and the rest of the stock will be noticeable, but I'm okay with that. It's part of the carbine's history. While the stock is curing, I'll circle back to the nose cap. I also gave this some thought as far as finishing goes, and I decided to do nothing, at least for now. I'm sanding it to even out the rough cast surface, but I'm not going to rust blue it or anything like that. That's because I'm still unsure of what I want to do with the overall carbine's finish. As said earlier, these came in the white, and this has seen quite a bit of patina over the last 150 years. I can leave this as is, in which case I'd probably want to blue the nose cap, or I can boil and card the action, which will change its appearance. Let me know what you'd do down in the comments. But after reassembly, this is the completed carbine. The fore-end and nose cap certainly change its appearance greatly, from a fairly generic sporting rifle to the unique look of an Imperial German carbine. This is as far as I'm going to go in this video. I didn't fix the missing sight spring, but it isn't too loose. It's fairly tight when the ladder is flat. I also intentionally skipped over the biggest issue with this carbine, and that's the condition of the bore. From this end, the rifling doesn't look too bad, but the chamber is rusty, and it doesn't want to chamber an 11mm Mauser converted from a 45-70 casing, which should be undersized. I haven't touched the bore yet. I'm going to save that for another video. But as far as the work done in this video, I'm happy to have restored it back to its original configuration. You may not agree with me as far as my philosophy on stock finishing goes, but I'll welcome your thoughts down in the comments. I'm also open to comments on this rifle's finish. However, I do want to work with what I have here. Stripping all patina to bare metal will never be an option for me. Let's get a discussion going. Thanks for watching.